Good morning, friends. Ivy, Amilla, and I are here this morning to share a story with you about Lady Spring. Here we go.
Can I read?
It's been a long, cold winter, and Lady Spring was snuggled soundly in her warm bed inside her home. One morning, the rays of the sun shone into her window and tickled upon her nose, singing, "Wake up, Lady Spring! Wake up, Lady Spring!" Lady Spring arose from her bed and put on her cloak, which was woven with colors of flowers. And she slipped on her shoes, and she opened the door and stepped outside. Tiny white snowdrop flowers sprung up in her footprints as she walked. But it was too cold for her. The wind began to blow, and Lady Spring became chilled. So she hurried back into her home and back into her warm, snuggly bed. The next morning, the rays of the sun shone in her window again and tickled Lady Spring on the nose, singing, "Wake up, Lady Spring! Wake up, Lady Spring!" And Lady Spring arose out of her bed and put on her cloak, which was woven with the colors of flowers. And she slipped on her shoes, and she opened her door, and she went outside. And again, as she walked outside, tiny snowdrops of white flowers were in her footsteps. But a cold wind began to blow, and it was very chilly on Lady Spring, and too chilly for her, so she walked back into her house, into her snuggly bed, and went back to sleep. She slept for a few days like this. It was too chilly for Lady Spring. And then, one morning, the warm rays of the sun shone powerfully through her window, and it tickled her on the nose, and it hit her on the cheeks, and tickled her on the chin, singing, "Wake up, Lady Spring! Wake up, Lady Spring! Wake up, Lady Spring!" And Lady Spring arose from her bed, put on her cloak and put on her shoes. Her cloak was woven from the colors of the flowers, and she opened her door, and she went outside, and it was a warm spring day. And everywhere she walked, flowers grew in her footsteps. All day long, Lady Spring walked the earth, leaving behind beautiful flowers in her wake. When the sun disappeared behind the distant hills, Lady Spring returned to her home to rest it again for tomorrow. Good night, Lady Spring. Good night.
Good night, Lady Spring.
Friends, maybe today you can make your own Lady Spring out of a peg doll or any other kind of doll. Make sure she has a long cloak. You could draw flowers on the cloak, or maybe you have a flowered fabric. Can you make a house for your Lady Spring that has a door that opens and closes? Can you make some flowers for Lady Spring's footsteps? That would be a fun activity for you today. Thanks for listening to our story.
Bye.
Bye. Do you want to say goodbye?
Bye.